Today's October 24th, 2012. I want to bring you some information on what we'll be dealing with as Saturn tours the sign of Scorpio. For all you astrology people out there, I would encourage you, if you have not, as of yet, studied about the planet Saturn, I would really get some information in my hands about Saturn itself, about the cycles of Saturn, and understand just how powerful that planet is. Saturn and Jupiter in the solar system are the planets that connect the information or the energies that come from the universe into the personal planets of our zodiac. And they're also the ones that filter out what happens out back to the universe. Jupiter being the planet that expands and brings luck and opportunities, and Saturn bringing the one that brings restriction, lessons, and kind of the keeper of time, and getting us to understand more of our physical plane, why we're in this shell, and just what it is we came to learn on the physical plane. So Saturn, really, when it all boils down to it, is probably the most important planet that we deal with in astrology as far as being here on the physical plane. It teaches us all the lessons of caring for, getting up and being consistent, having systems in place on the physical plane to care for things, as our body as well as everything that we surround ourselves with. But then it also reminds us just how restricting that these systems can become as they get outdated and outgrown, and if they don't align correctly with the universe's information or principles. So having Saturn in Scorpio is a powerful time for us here on Earth, as Scorpio, the sign, is about our egos being shed. And as you can think of somebody that builds some type of life here on the physical plane, when Scorpio hosts Saturn, what happens is we have to say, where do we limit ourselves in the system that we created? So as we experience this from early October all the way through the middle of September of 2015, we're going to be dealing with ourselves looking in the mirror at what we've created, where we've sold ourselves on any form of limitation, on any expectation, as that's what Saturn also deals with, and then how that limits us in our life. It doesn't mean we throw everything out, but what it does mean is we have to address anything that's not going to withstand the test of time. And so Saturn being in Scorpio, it's about our egos having to be exposed, and we have to learn from the perspective of who are we, what have we done to get to this point, and where are our limitations. If you take that approach, that's going to be key here as you move forward. As Saturn being in Scorpio, you're going to lose the things you try to hold on to the most, you're going to lose. Now, that's from a personal perspective. From a big picture perspective, Scorpio also rules sexuality, pornography, death, and rebirth. Saturn's coming here to teach us about all those things. The last time Saturn visited Scorpio was in 83, 84, 85. We know the AIDS virus came out. Think of the divorce rate increasing, the understanding we got to from a perspective of where we were up to that point in evolution, and where Saturn what Saturn made us address, and then what we did during that period. And then as we move forward, so go back to 83, 84, 85, if you can. I know some of you aren't old enough, and just think about how you changed and how things changed. What came into your awareness, what you looked at, what you noticed, and noticed that Saturn's going to bring those things back into play. Now we're in a very rare time that I think is the final time of enlightenment before we head to somewhere better. Could be here on Earth, could be somewhere else, but Saturn's in the sign that Pluto rules, Scorpio, and Pluto is in the sign that Saturn rules, Capricorn. Last time Pluto was in Capricorn was 1760 until around 1777. You know what happened then. This is our time to dig deep. The revelations and revolutions that happen when any planet visits Scorpio, or when Pluto goes into any sign, are tremendous. And because they're in the signs that rule, Pluto's in the sign that Saturn rules, Capricorn, all these physical beliefs and ideas are being addressed, and they're being torn down, and they're being revealed, and they're being the manipulation is coming to an end. So everybody's picking up on what really was going on versus how maybe their appearance or understanding was up to this point in these last 2-3 years. Now that Saturn's visited Scorpio, we have a issue of now you have to address it. You have to face it. It's going to be in your face in ways that'll be so common sense that you're not going to be able to avoid it. You can put it away or hide it or say, I don't want to deal with that all you want, but it's just going to get worse when it does emerge. So the key here, and the key is going to be as Saturn transits through the next 2.5 years, Scorpio, you're going to have to address all the things you've allowed, you let go, you didn't handle, all the things that you just did because everybody else did, or that's just how it was. Well, for your awakening and your evolution, who you are, that's all changing. So you're going to have to get down to it in these next 2.5 years, and there will be a lot of ugliness that happens. There will be a lot of death, and in death allows for rebirth. So know that as things are removed from your life, or as you remove things from your life, you're just really allowing for new to come in. I'm not telling you you're going to throw everything away, but I am going to tell you this. Your maturation possibilities in these next 2.5 years are as good as they're ever going to be. The potential is going to be endless here. And so your ability to really get down to the core of who you are and then how you understand things, and then to bring your abilities out and use them here on this planet has never been better. The key is going to be those for you to deal with all your fears, deal with what anything that just doesn't feel right, deal with that and get to the core of it. And I think you'll like where you end up. Okay. So know that these next 2.5 years, it's going to be just ridiculous in what happens. We're in a time right now in these next 2-3 weeks that everything's going to be revealed, and it's not going to be pretty initially, but it's what you do with it. Okay, it's what how you're going to handle it, and what you do with what enters your life, and what you do with what the fears and the limitations have how they've stopped you, or where you've quit or didn't address. It's what you do with those things now is what's going to matter. So good luck to you. Again, this is a huge time for evolution to happen. I want it for you in your life. I'm doing it, and so I hope and encourage and pray that you're doing the same thing.